What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, and yeah, I'm really sorry. I know I almost never take 2 days off, but I actually left my charger at work, and like obviously my laptop is my lifeline, and then I was gonna go early this morning, but I ended up having to shoot a commercial for work, so that is the reason for these abnormal 2 day delay. But I'm gonna be doing two videos today. Obviously, I'm sure you guys already see them on my channel. They're gonna be premiering at the same time. So one of them is going to be Eldlich Monarch, which you're watching now, and the other one's going to be me using some of my favorite decks and seeing if I can take on legitimate meta decks. Because there are some casual strategies that I've used before that like you cannot use, man. Like it's I don't like invoked. What's it called? Dogmatica. So we'll see if my favorite decks can do that. But for now, I want to revisit this Monarch Eldlich deck here. So, I mean, from that deck profile that I gave you, I haven't changed the deck too much. I mean, I really was just playing it for a little bit for these past couple days. And this is almost like a mirror match, so I guess it's a good kind of baseline to see, like, who's got the better Monarch deck. But I think he's running Shaddoll Eldliches, which is just interesting at the end of the day. Since I knew he was playing Eldlich cards, and he would have activated Scarlet Sanguine by now, so I knew it was like a Hakera or something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle every single time I can shuffle back row. I'm for sure gonna do that. I did set this Prime Monarch one because if Eldlich ends up in the graveyard, I can send it, so it's not really anything. Like normally, if you're in Eldlich or if you're in Monarch deck mode, like you can't get you can't get the Prime Monarch off the field unless someone destroys it like on your behalf, which is stupid. Makes the mistake by trying to activate the effect there. I do run, obviously, you guys know from the deck profile, a Golden Land Forever. But we know, Monarchs have a pretty decent defense, especially being 2,500 attack defense. I do not run this card, but I have plenty of outs for cards like that. It's like not really an issue. I know since he's playing some sort of extra deck based one, I'm like, let me just make sure he can't summon from the extra deck. And obviously I have the Prime Monarch as well. And then you guys just saw, the only problem is consistency with this deck is probably the biggest issue. It's not that the two, it's never a case of the two archetypes like crashing into each other. Like, oh, I can't use one of these. Because you've seen that, like there are other archetypes that kind of don't really mesh so hard together, but they work in the same deck type of thing. These strategies never run into each other. There's tons of options. So he finally gets to his Eldlich cards. I'm not really too worried about it. So he goes to negate the Conquistador, which is really surprising for me. But I have the, like he's trying to like get back in the game. But at this point, I've amassed so much advantage. It's like, what are you gonna do? He has a Shaddoll Beast, but it doesn't matter at all. I'm just gonna go for a game. So this is one of those decks that, I mean, technically speaking, could beat any meta deck like ever. I mean, going on right now because it's be able to domain lock your opponent. But going second, this deck is just like, leaves a lot to be desired, honestly. I don't want to lie to you guys and say that I've never lost a duel with this deck, But, technically speaking, if you're going first and you get an Eldlich domain lock kind of thing going, then, I mean, I don't really know what your opponent's going to be able to do. I'm at least going to have the Monarchs erupt. That card alone is sometimes like a blowout card, And now I have access to my Eldlich stuff, and then, Sanguine obviously searches Hakero and all that kind of stuff. So I know I have a Golden Land Forever. I'm trying to see what he's got here. So he searches a Mystic Mine. Mystic Mine, not a problem. I think I have also a Mystic Mine burn type of deck. As long as I can keep the Monarchs Erupt online, I don't even care about domain locking him just yet. Because it's not like basically this is their big, this Link monster here. Their Magical Musketeer Max, like that is their win condition, and he activates Mystic Mine. I feel like that was a huge mistake. I mean, technically, he doesn't know that I have so many outs for it. It's like it really doesn't do anything. So this ultra powerful card, and that's the advantage of this deck, I guess, more than anything, is it has an outs to cards like that. And I do have Caius. Caius banished Mystic Mine. That's fine. I already know I have him domain locked anyway, so it's just better not to have Mystic Mine on the field. And there's like, what is he literally gonna do? Like, there's nothing he can. Going on to, I think this is Magistus. I don't think I've showcased Magistus on the deck or on the YouTube channel just yet. So I figured I'd go ahead and do it now, even though they're not great. The one, I will say, the one choke point of this deck is just hard loses for the most part to Ash Blossom and Choice Springs. It's so bad. I did add an Upstart Goblin to add to consistency, which is a little sad, but it does actually help me a lot. So let's see what he's able to do. This is Magistus. I misplayed super hard here. I should have summoned my Eldlich, and then I would have had, I believe, a card in my hand to tribute summon with Ether. So that was cool for me to do that, but it looks like he didn't open the greatest either. And now I have so much advantage. It's like, what are you gonna do? Yeah, and then tribute summoning is obviously great when you do it for the Eldritch cards. That way all the synergy kind of locks into one central point, which is great. He's gonna miss his target and everything like that. I have so many Monarch cards in my hand, and Cursed Eldland searches every turn. Yeah, and then just in case, you know, who knows, maybe he needs something in his hand for next turn. I'll just go ahead and shuffle that back, because this isn't lethal, but it's pretty close. I suppose I could have gone Lunar, but I already have so much interaction during his turn, so it's like, there really is no point. And now that he's domain locked, it's just like, he could have used Cosmic Cyclone, but it's a little too late for that, you know. And this is that Mystic Mind matchup I was talking to you about earlier. He actually opened with 2 pieces of Exodia, which is pretty crazy. But the thing is, the trap cards don't count as monsters, so Conquistador can't blow up Mystic Mind. And now I've domain lock. The funny thing is that you domain lock your opponent only when they have no cards in their extra deck, right? But I still have the Monster up, so it may come in handy, may not. I don't know what he's playing yet. Honestly, at this point, I thought he was playing Mystic, or not Mystic Mind. I thought he was playing Eldlich or something like that. But so the thing is, I don't understand if you are a Exodia player, and he shuffled them back, which is crazy, but if you're an Exodia player, you have to play Pot of Extravagance. There's really no reason for you not. I mean, that's crazy to me. You can get rid of your Reckless Greeds. I don't know if I've ever showed this on my channel, but I used to have an Exodia deck. I made memes out of it. I never showed it on the... I really hope I can find that somewhere. I go ahead and negate that, but that's fine. I pretty much assumed that he had that in his back row, but... what I had is an Exodia deck that was a stun deck. Obviously, it's what Exodia is. But what I do in game 2, I set it up for matches. I side in 15 Guru cards. So if you guys are interested in that deck, I would be curious. If there's enough interest from people on the channel, I will for sure showcase that. It was such a fun deck because everyone sides in for all of these, like, okay, it looks like he's not summoning any monsters, so I can take out all these important cards that stop monster effects. And then Guru just hits the field, and they're like, what the heck is going on? But yeah, I blew him out, obviously. This guy from playing Mystic Mind. This looks like a... wow, what is this? Like a Christian Needle Fiber, like, turbo deck or something? Wow, so he's got a lot of negates going on in here. And see, normally Ash Blossom's a blowout card, and like, it really honestly should be. But in this case, sometimes it doesn't have to be complicated at all. Like, you can sometimes just be like, beat my domain lock. Take Ether off the field without going to your extra deck. I dare you to. And that was really interesting too. That was another reason why I showed this duel, is because he did tribute something, so he could go into the extra deck once, but that's it. And he tried to go into Nova to Infinity, but now he doesn't own a tribute summon monster. So that was actually pretty interesting. And looks like this is Sun Avalon or something. I think that's what the deck's called. Sunseed. Yeah, Sun Avalon. Another one. It's going around. It's not so good. So this is a decent opening in my hand, and now that I know I'm playing Sun Avalon, I would almost assume that they would want to go always going second, because their best monster is a battle monster. It's their Link 1. And it's like a good kind of OTK type of deck. Well, I shouldn't say good, but... it's definitely direction it's looking to go in. It's a pretty strange thing to negate. I mean, I get it, but I really don't. Like, is that where my value comes in? So, I mean, I'm feeling fine because he can't go into his extra deck, and now all of his cards, you know, are negated, so there's nothing he can do. And I think I have 2 more duels for you guys here. Once again, Cursed Album's a great open, especially because I know I have Sanguine, so that means I have an interaction for sure. So along with this Conquistador that I'm going to have, I'm also going to be able to give myself something important here. So, and at the same time shuffle a card back, and that card is going to be the Monarch's Erupt. Basically told me either I can domain lock you, or all your cards are going to be negated, and I start with there. And Sanguine, if anything really comes up, like anything from the extra deck, even if it's negated, let's say it somehow has more attack than 20 and 100, I'll just Conquistador it. I'll be fine. And you guys know that Eldlich literally doesn't matter, and none of the trap cards get negated with the Monarch's Erupt either, so it's pretty cool. And I know I have one more duel for you. Yeah, this is Cyber Dragon Orcus, and I even think I have I mess up in my opening. So really the only goal should be to domain lock here, but so this almost looks like a great opening. I just don't get access to like anything that I need. I basically force it into the graveyard. Again, it's not great, and I also do send the Conquistador to the graveyard. That way it at least gives me access to 1 negation here. So I just have to stop him at a pivotal point. So let's see where I choose to do so. Yeah, I mean, Cyber Dragon Orcus I remember was really big, but that was only when Nightmare Mermaid was around, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really know what the deck does now, but I thought I'd at least show it to you guys. So he does have the Cybernetic Overflow, but yeah, man, you're just not going to get value out of something like that when you're playing Eldlich. It's just crazy. And yeah, with Monarchs, now I have Monarch's Erupt and he's domain locked. I don't know what Orcus Cyber Dragon can do now. Everything's negated as well. Now I have access to my other Eldlich cards, so it's not like he can activate any effects, so it's pretty cool. I'm basically just cleaning up at this point. They all search each other anyways. So while he can do nothing, I can do everything, basically. I think this is game. Yeah. So that's another display of the deck, a little, you know, just reminisce about it and revisit it. Yeah, my opinion hasn't changed too much. It's really just like a fun, casual deck. Something I would definitely check out if you're looking into budget control for Eldlich. Because pure Eldlich isn't great, we all know that, and the deck's definitely powered down. I haven't even seen people use Dogmatic Eldlich, actually, so I'm not going to say this is the best version of Eldlich, but it's definitely like up there, I would say. I would definitely have this over pure, even over this new fusion monster coming out in Blazing Vortex, I think. Because domain locking your opponent a lot of the times can be game enders, and you guys saw in these replays, it's like that. So if you guys are interested in this deck, go ahead and check out one of my earlier videos. I just did a deck profile for it not too long ago. So again, basically one of the only modifications is I added like Upstart Goblin and got rid of a Dragonoid generator. Like off the top of my head, I think that's what I did. But be sure to check out the other video today where I take on meta decks, like top tier, no joke meta decks. Other than that, guys, that's going to do for today. And I hope you have an absolutely wonderful night.